Now forget complicated guitar chords. We're all about making how to play the guitar easy. So in this beginner guitar tutorial, I'm going to show you the finger placement, a basic strumming pattern, and offer an alternative version to the G major chord so that you can unlock the joy of playing the guitar. So the G major chord uses 3 fingers, right? And we're going to look at the first version with the 4th finger, 3rd finger and the 2nd finger. The diagram is on the screen and you can see that the 4th finger is playing the 3rd fret. The frets are going, these metal bars that go across. It's on the 3rd fret of the E string or the 1st string. Then there's a bit of a gap and the 2nd finger is playing the 2nd fret of the A string or the 5th string. And then the 3rd finger is playing the 3rd fret of the 6th string, the low E string. So these two here, 4th finger and 3rd finger, are playing the E strings at the same frets, the 3rd fret. And you'll have a chord sounding like this. And for this chord, you play all 6 strings. And you've got a lovely, bright, clear sound. Now, an alternative version is, instead of using 4-3-2, we're going to use 3-2-1. And we're going to put the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the high E string, the 1st string. The 1st finger is going to go on the 2nd fret of the A string or the 5th string, and this 2nd finger, 3rd fret of the G string, or it's not the G string, the E string, the 6th string. And again, you'll play all the strings. Now, that was a version that I started out with, and it's a good way to play it, and many guitar players do it. My version, the version I prefer, I should say, is the 1st version using the 4th, 3rd and 2nd strings. Now, of course, they sound exactly the same. I think the only difference really in terms of the hand position is that when you're playing, if I play this one here, I find that my hand is gripping the guitar a little bit more closely, and I've got this part of my thumb on the kind of the top part here of, if I can show you that, on that part here of the curved part of the guitar. So my thumb is there. Whereas if I play this one here, my thumb has kind of moved back a little bit. All right, just back a little bit, so it's more this part here on that curved part of the guitar. Maybe it's because my fingers are short. I'm not really sure. So it's 2 versions, and great chord. I love this chord, but there's also a much easier version. So if this version or this version here is too much of a stretch for you, the way you can do this is by playing the 3rd finger only, but only playing the top 4 strings. And this is the version of the G major chord that I first learned with. And so you do need to be a little bit more careful about the strings that you're playing. So when I learned this, one thing I did when I was using this version here was to have the thumb coming over a little bit and dampening those 2 low strings, the A string, the 5th string and the 6th string, the E string. But you want to make sure that you're only pressing the string lightly, you're not holding down the thumb. And that way you've got that chord and you're able to play this G chord in a simple way. And for a strumming pattern, one thing that you can do And I recommend this with, when you're just starting out. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm just using my thumb, and because that's actually how I started many years ago. I was just using the thumb. I didn't have a plectrum, and I either used my thumb or I used my first finger just to play like this. And you hear the difference in the sound. Because with the first finger, you're really using that kind of the nail of the finger. And the thumb, you're obviously just using this bit here. The thing is though, if you do use your thumb for a long period of time, and before buying a plectrum, your thumb will get a little bit of it'll develop a little callus over time. And the same thing with this hand here. When you start playing and you're holding down the strings on the guitar for a while, you do get a bit sore. It's natural. You'll get used to it and you'll develop the necessary calluses for these fingers, and you'll end up just having little grooves like this here. I wonder if you can see that. Now why don't you check out the other videos in this series of lessons, and thank you so much for joining me today. Happy strumming.